Hey everyone, welcome to Dear Dad. He's Ivan. I'm Brad. We got Johnny, our producer, in the building with us today. And we are two guys, two fathers to be specific, who want to share with you our male and our father's point of view about parenting, about marriage, and about divorce. And then Ivan, do we have something new we're doing today?
Yeah, so we want to introduce a new segment to the podcast. Well, I guess the first segment because we don't have any yet.
True.
We would like to ask you guys, men, women, fathers, mothers, husbands, wives, to send in any sort of video submission of you guys speaking to us. You guys can ask us a question. You can tell us about something that's going on in your life, any sort of advice that you would like to hear from us, and we'll do our best to help you. Or maybe you just want a father's or male's perspective on anything that you're seeing in your life right now. And it's going to look something like this.
Hey guys, my name is Jocelyn and I want to say congratulations on your guys' new podcast. I do have a question for the both of you guys. My question is, what is the most important thing you both have learned in life? What was your guys' life like before and after learning from it?
Thank you, Jocelyn, for the submission.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support. For me, Brad, the most important thing I've learned a lot of important things, but I think the most important is how to move on from things.
Okay.
I've learned how to move on very quickly from friendships, relationships, jobs, things like that, things that might weigh me down some way, somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let it do that to me anymore. And I learned how to do that a few years ago. So I have very few friends. It's more like I know a few people,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a couple pretty good friends, right? Other than that, I've learned a few other things that are very important. But I think for the purpose of this episode, I think that makes more sense for me to say. What about you?
That's pretty good. Oh, man. I think if I had to answer that, I would probably go off three different type of points. First one, really having God in my life. I think it's caused me to forgive and also like just let things go. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you can get upset with people and do different things in life, and a lot of times we can hold grudges. But for me, it's helped me release things in life, kind of like what you were saying.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Probably, gosh, man. Number two, I think probably the birth of my son, because when my first son was born, watching this little human being come into the earth, or come into the world, I should say, and just realizing that this human depended upon me and his mother to take care of him and to provide for him, that was huge. And it really did. I mean, every day looking at him, hearing his cry and all that kind of stuff, I mean, it just changed me as a person and kind of let me know, like, hey, you can't just be a kid anymore. It's time to grow up.
Right.
And the third one, kind of like with what you said, moving on, for me, it's about like taking responsibility. Once I learned how to take responsibility for stuff in life, not pass the buck, not blame other people, then it really changed my life. And yeah, I think when it comes down to like our finances, when it comes to like the job you select, what you choose to do, like sports, whether you're going to stay physically fit or not, whether you're going to, get mentally stronger or not, it's based upon what you do and your actions. And so I had to take responsibility for that.
I think a lot of us struggle with that because we always put the blame on other things,
Right.
to justify what's going on in our lives or what are the issues we're having.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
100%.
Like, we don't go to the gym because of this, and that. Or we bad because this, and that. I don't have time for this because of that.
Yeah.
So on and so on, right? That's what I struggle with a lot as well.
Right.
But I think that the sooner we realize it, I think, the easier it'll be for us to actually grow. Right.
Yeah. No, it's spot on. So yeah, I mean, those would be my main things. But like for the purpose of this show, I think just taking responsibility. And then obviously my son played a major part in that.
Right.
I had to realize, like, hey, it's time to take responsibility, Brad, for someone else who's dependent upon you. And then we had a second one come into the world, and now I got 2 sons, and now they're not babies anymore. They're, almost 18 and 14, but every day they still look to me for advice on how to be a man. And
Now it's new advice, different
Exactly.
advice, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Do you see yourself ever having more kids? Or are you completely done?
no, I think I'm done.
What about the new wife?
Nope.
She's good with none?
Yeah, good with none. She loves my 2 boys.
Okay.
Now our 2 boys. And, she treats them as if they were hers from the beginning, and she takes care of them, and she's a good mom.
That's
Stepmom,
great.
especially, yeah.
That's great. So last week we spoke about, or I spoke mostly about the hardest part of parenting for me, parenting in general. And that's me taking my kids out by myself anywhere, right? Especially because of their age. Right now, they're still 5 and 7. So taking them out is a huge thing for me. It's very hard taking care of 2 children, making sure they have fun, and at the same time, making sure that they don't get kidnapped.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So today I want us to talk about what I think, and I don't know if you agree or not, is the hardest part of co-parenting in general, which is how we educate our children. And maybe we can dive into the sort of things that we try to teach them,
Right.
right? Do you have any issues with you? Again, I know your kids are a little older or a lot older than mine,
Right.
but you still got to teach them stuff every day.
Right.
Have you had any issues with you and your ex-wife on that topic, on educating them to do certain things or anything like that?
It's a great question. I would say we see things differently. And to protect my thoughts about, maybe how I disagree with her, I'll keep those off camera, but we do parent a little bit differently. I would probably say I'm a little bit more easygoing. Like kind of what we talked about last time, I pick and choose my battles with them.
Right.
There's certain things that just don't need to be fought over. And so for me, I feel like if I let this go or if I let that go, it makes my life easier because it's not the end of the world. And so for me, when I parent them, I think, what is the main thing I want them to learn from our current discussion? Like, what are we talking about right now? Are they talking about their girlfriends? How they
Do
broke
they both
up?
have girlfriends now?
One has a girlfriend. And so it's like, are we talking about that? Are we talking about them going out with their friends? Are we talking about drugs? Are we talking about, going out and partying? Are we talking about just doing high risk, events or whatever? And those are things it's like, okay, maybe they disagree with me, and I don't necessarily need them to completely agree with me, but I do need to get my point across in a way where I feel like they're understanding me.
Your kids or your ex?
No, my kids.
Okay.
And then sometimes they'll say, well, mom doesn't see it that way, Dad. I'm like, that's cool. I mean, you guys make your decision. This is what my role is. When you guys were 5, 10 years old, my role was basically to kind of tell you what to do and make sure you did it. You guys are now 14 and almost 18 years old. My job is not to tell you what to do every single minute of your life, because your job is now to move into adulthood. So now if you want to back talk me, if there's a repercussion, then there's a repercussion. If there's not, then there's not. But the thing is, it's like, that's your choice, and I'm going to allow you to make that choice. And then I'm going to talk to you about, like, hey, do you think you needed to talk to me like that?
Right.
And talk them through different things. It's not like, oh, you're going to talk to me like that? Oh, give me your phone. Oh, you're going to talk to me like that? Go to your room. Oh, you're going to those are things that I don't do. And were you going to say something, Johnny?
Does that type of discipline work with them?
It works amazing with them. I mean, the fact that I can speak to them, they truly tell me all the time, like, Dad, we really appreciate the way you talk to us, and you treat us like adults, and you listen to us, and you hear us out. Because, I mean, as smart as I think I am, my sons have taught me so much about life and their perspective. And there's times where I'll realize, like, man, there's things I'm saying that are like old school, and there's new ways of thinking about things. And so, yeah, for me, the way I discipline is different. The way I educate my kids is different than the way their mom does it. And so, yeah, that's basically it without getting into too much of the bantering and stuff. But
I might do that
hey, do it. I don't care.
because you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, Brad. I know we're doing this for different reasons, but sometimes I feel like we're gonna come in with something on our mind, and that's me today.
All right.
I want to start my soliloquy by saying that we need to allow each other, mother and father, to play our roles in our parenting, right? As mothers, you guys have to allow the father, if he's there, especially if he's there, allow him to be a father.
Right.
And as fathers, you guys as fathers, you have to allow the mother to be a mother, right?
Right.
There's nothing more important to a child than a mother's, what do you call it? Nurture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Nurture and love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, sure, a father can give that too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But a mother's always going to be that for their child.
Right.
That's just how we are as beings.
Right.
Along with, as fathers, there's nothing more important to a child than the protection and the lessons that we're able to teach them about life, right? And of course, we will be able to have different conversations with our children than their mothers will, and vice versa, right? So my message today is that we have to allow each other to be those roles, to act our roles, right? Something I'm struggling with right now is there's certain things that I try to teach my children that their mother doesn't see it as a big deal, but they are.
Like
Putting lotion on after you shower. That's one thing that, like, yesterday or the past few days, like, that's been a thing for us. Like,
right.
my kids are Hispanic. Like, they're gonna get some dry skin, especially they're not. My daughter's a little whiter than my son, but like, she still got some color in her skin, so it's gonna show a lot more. Or my son doing his hair every day. One of the most important things that I've tried to teach my children is to take care of their image. Their image is so important to me, especially because my kids are both very beautiful and handsome, and I want them to know that.
Right.
So not only do I tell them that every day, I also try to show them by dressing them nicely, doing their hair.
That's cool.
You know how hard it is for me to do my daughter's hair?
I don't.
And
actually don't.
I am completely sure I don't even do it correctly. But I try my hardest. I sit there, I put the conditioner in her hair, I brush her hair, I put the ponies. I've tried braiding. And I do that because I want to show her, like, hey, take your time with your image.
Right. That's good.
If I can sit here and do it with you, I want you to be able to do it on your own as well. But then when they go back home, it's not so much of a lesson there.
Gotcha.
Right? But, things like that, little things like that. And sometimes I feel like their mother thinks I'm telling them to walk on glass. You know what I'm saying? I'm not teaching them anything wrong. Everything I'm teaching them is correct.
Right.
Or maybe not correct, but it's right. It's not wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So if I was teaching them something wrong, I would understand her pushback, right? But do you think that I'm wrong about feeling bad about that?
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea that you put lotion on your kids. No, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with each parent thinking that they should do something for their children and it being okay. And that's one of those things where I think we have to realize, like, there's times where my boy's mother wants them to do something a certain way. And I don't necessarily think it's correct.
Like what? Give me an example.
Let me think here. I couldn't even give you an example right now. I don't know. But I can tell you this. If they don't want to do it, I will tell it. Well, for instance, like, let's say they want to go out and just go to the store and get some new shoes or just go out and do something. And And they're like, Dad, she won't let us go out and do this, or we can't go do that. And I'm like, hey, guys, how about you hang on a second? Is your mother remarried? And they're like, no. I said, so she's single? They said, correct. I said, okay. So is she the only person providing for you right now when you're with her? And they're like, yes. I go, okay. Then maybe you don't need to go to the store right now. Maybe she doesn't see a point in going shopping if she knows she's not going to buy you anything. She sees it as a waste of time. Yeah. Well, maybe I have the money to go buy you something, or maybe I don't, but I'll take you anyways. Like, maybe I'll just take you just so you can go and look. Right. Maybe I'm not going to buy you anything either, but I'll just tell them, like, hey, guys, sometimes you just need to look at your situation from a different point of view, such as, why does your mom see it that way? Is she completely wrong? Or maybe she just loves you a whole lot and she's just afraid that something's going to happen to you if you're down the street too far. And while there's, a certain age where I feel like kids can go away from the house and ride their bikes and do other things, I also think that they have to respect each parent's wishes to a point. And so sometimes some parents are like what my sons refer to as a helicopter parent, and they're always over the top of them, and hovering and, making them do this, making them do that. And other parents might not be so much so, and that's okay. And so I think the thing is so your kid's mom doesn't see the importance of putting lotion on or having their hair styled or whatever, or maybe she does and she sees it from her own point of view. Who knows? I don't know the situation, but I do know that they see it and they know. And the thing is you're actually giving them the option, because there's an option A and there's an option B. There's their dad and there's their mom, and you guys live in two different houses. So they're going to grow up and they're going to see it from her view and from your view, and they'll make their own decision on, do I want to look cool or do I want to look grungy?
Right, but the thing is, I don't even think it's okay to give them that option, because what if they choose to look horrible? Like, you know what I mean? I don't want my kids to think it's okay to go to school looking bad or going out on a date looking bad, And it starts at a young age, in my opinion.
Right.
If from 4 and 5 years old, I'm teaching my kids, do your hair, use good manners at the table,
right?
This and that. Always make sure your clothes are clean. Make sure your clothes fit. They're gonna grow into that, and it's gonna become a habit for them, right?
Right.
But if I'm teaching these at my house, and then they're going over to their house, and it's not really a big deal there anymore, there's no rhythm. It's not going to build a habit.
True.
So if my son goes to his mom and says, hey, I need some lotion because I want to put lotion on after the shower every day, and if that's not happening, then I'm kind of like, why? What's the issue? What is he? Am I telling him to walk on glass? No. I'm asking him to put lotion on because his skin gets very dry.
Right.
The other day I picked him up from school. His skin looked like the outside shell of a cantaloupe. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, and then his mom was just like, well, it just needs some water. It'll wash right off. Yeah, that's lotion. Lotion is made out of water, right? And if you have water, your skin doesn't get like that.
Right. Have you ever contacted the mom and said, hey, is it possible I can send Elijah home with some lotion, or can you pick up some lotion for him? So
they have lotion. But the thing is, my son is 7 years old. He's not going to put on lotion every day if you don't tell him.
Yeah.
Just like kids won't brush their teeth every day if you don't tell them sometimes.
True.
Or they won't shower every day if you don't tell them.
And that's where it's different for me, because my boys have a cell phone because they're older.
Right.
And so I can text them and say, hey, guys, if my thing was put lotion on, I'm like, hey, guys, make sure you put your lotion on today. Or maybe I can, the case of my oldest son, he likes to make sure his face is washed and he's clean for the night. So sometimes I might text him and say, hey, make sure you get your face washed tonight, and use both this one and that one or whatever that we got you.
See, I want to prevent doing it at that age, though.
Sure.
I want my kids to grow up that way.
Sure.
To grow up, I want my son to say, hey, Dad, can we go to the store? I want you to buy me these Jordans because I want to look fly as heck at school today. I want my son. I want to ball on my son like that.
Yeah.
Same with my daughter. Hey, Dad, give me all this makeup. Give me this. I will do that for my kids. Mm-hmm. because I want them to look good. Image is so important. I know people that don't care about their image. Johnny, for the better part of his life, has not cared about his image. And it is something that I have gotten on his butt about. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Till maybe end of last year is when he started really focusing on his image.
Right. I was saying, because he looks good now.
He looks good, but
Yeah.
for so long he didn't. And
Right.
part of that is because my mom didn't push it. But she doesn't know. My mom is a 50-year-old immigrant. So is my dad. They don't know style. They don't know anything like that. I didn't have an older brother growing up or an older cousin growing up that lived with me
Right.
to give me game. I got made fun of at school for certain things because of the way I dressed or the way I didn't dress
Okay.
or my hair or my shoes.
Do you think that had, or do you think it still to this day has a huge impact on why you're so adamant?
Yeah, because I don't want my kids to go through that.
Right. Right.
I've picked up my kids wearing clothes that are too little. From off the bus, off the school bus, when I pick them up from their mom's house, I pick them up off the school bus. They come out of the bus with clothes that are too small, and like I'll text a picture to their mom, be like, "Yo, this is a size or two too short." And then she gets mad at me because I buy them shoes that might be a size or a size and a half a little big, but it's like, yo, I buy them clothes and shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever really too big for them, except maybe their shoes might be a size, because the shoes are kind of expensive. Because I buy them pretty nice shoes, and it's like, let's make them last a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
So
that.
like if my daughter's a 13, I'll buy her a 1. And you know, but it's not like I'm asking her to send me clothes with them and keeping her clothes and stuff. You know, sometimes we each might get backed up a little bit here and there on returning clothes, especially her.
Yeah.
And she knows that. But for the most part, or definitely, they have all their own clothes at my house.
Right.
Own shoes, right? So I always make sure they look nice. My son has been getting his haircut professionally since he was 3-4 years old.
I was say I've seen his haircuts on Instagram. They look pretty good.
He looks amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's part of that image. You know,
Right.
he finally knows how to do his own hair.
Okay.
So now he's doing his own hair.
That's awesome.
But before he knew how to do his hair, the excuse was that they were rushing too much to get to school.
Okay.
So they didn't want to do his hair. So those types of things just completely stress me out. Like, they make me sad
Okay.
because I feel like I'm being told that I'm teaching my kids something that is wrong when it is not.
Right. And I think that goes back to I think the one thing we have to realize, and that you and I have both realized over our time of being married and then getting divorced and having to go through that, is co-parenting is difficult. And sometimes it's easier for certain couples than others. Sometimes you both have kind of the same mindset when it comes to your children, but you have a different mindset of how you guys wanted to be married. So you guys go your own way. I think the one thing, though, is we have to believe as fathers and as mothers that if we're teaching our kids a certain thing, that it is the right thing. But I think we also have to let our kids know, if your dad wants you to do it a certain way, then do it that way. And if your mom wants you to do it a certain way, do it that way. But I think my
But how could you, as a mother, how could you come and say, don't worry about lotion? Like, one of you is already implementing the rule.
right.
You're not the bad guy no more.
Right.
I'm the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy.
Yeah.
If putting on lotion makes me the bad guy, I'll be the bad guy. Fine. I implemented the rule. Now I need you as the mother
Yeah.
say, you know what? He's right, baby. Let's put some lotion on.
Sure.
It's not a big deal. My daughter came back and walked to me because her mother arrived and she went to go show her her skin on her legs because it was both of them that had it.
Okay.
And then she came back to me with some attitude. She was like, my mother said it's not a big deal because it'll just come off with some water. It's like, what? I already implemented the rule. Just say, yeah, he's right. We'll put some lotion on.
Right, yeah. And that's difficult. I wish I had a good answer for you. I really do. Because I feel like it is difficult because now they've gone their own way. You know, your ex has, and so is my ex, and so they want to do things their way, and we want to do them our way. But in reality, though, here's the thing, Ivan. I'm just trying to be real with you. I think that your ex probably thinks she's exactly right. She's like, it's not a big deal. It'll wash off with water. And you're like, it is a big deal because it has to do with how they look and how they feel about themselves.
And your skin. Who wants
Right.
dry skin?
Right.
Brad, have you ever dealt with dry skin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever been ashy?
I've never been ashy. No.
Kids may get made
Yeah.
fun of. Kids will get made fun of in school for being ashy.
Right.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your ex didn't, right?
Probably not.
Right.
And that. I don't know,
get
man.
it. I get it.
Sometimes I just feel like everything's against me. That was gross. Everything's against me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what she's really good at? She's really good at teaching them about school stuff. I will be the first to tell you guys and you, I'm not the greatest at teaching them about school stuff because I'm not very good with school to begin with. I'll try, but I'm not as good as she is at it.
Right.
I can admit that. That's fine. But allow me to teach my kids certain lessons about life.
Do you think when you guys were married that she complimented you on always trying to look nice and the way you dressed and stuff like that? Like, was she proud of you for the way you dressed?
I don't remember, Brad. Like I told you last time, I don't remember most of our relationship. You want to know what our relationship was?
What's that?
This will give you an idea of our relationship. I can tell you the night we separated, October 18, 2016.
Okay.
We got divorced officially October 8th, 2018.
Okay.
Ask me when any of our anniversaries were. Ask me.
When were they?
None. I have no idea. I don't know. I can't tell you the day we met. I can tell you our first date. I can't tell you the date we got married. I can't. I can tell you the night we separated, the night we said
Okay.
we're done, we're good, let's go.
Yeah.
After that night, we haven't kissed once, we haven't hugged. And I tell women this that I meet, I'm like, because everybody always wonders about the ex baby mama,
Right.
ex baby daddy, you know. I'm like, since that night, October 18, 2016, there hasn't been a hug, a kiss, a handhold, a grope, nothing since that night. That's how our relationship went. But I can't tell you a single anniversary. So I don't even remember, Brad. I couldn't even tell you, man. But I've always tried to look my best.
Right. And that's good. I mean, like I said, I wish there was a better answer for both of us because there are certain things that I do at my house, and I've been told by my boys that, well, Mom just thinks you're too easy on us. Mom thinks you just let us get away with anything.
How does she discipline them?
She takes their phone away from them.
But is that what you do?
No, I just talk to them.
Oh, you just talk to them.
Yeah.
That's discipline?
Yeah, at 14 and 18, and because I feel like I'm pretty good at talking to them.
Well, do you feel like
Yeah.
it's a disappointment? Like, you know how usually you don't want to disappoint your father? Mm-hmm. Is that what it is?
That they don't want to disappoint me?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think so. My oldest one has always been like extremely strong-willed and obstinate. From the standpoint of like,
Abstinent?
no, obstinate.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now he is. I think he's abstinent.
Abstinent?
Obstinate.
Oh.
Just very confrontational.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, and so he's always challenged me, and I can tell you the difference between my two sons. My oldest one, I spanked him every day of his life for 12 years straight. Every day. At least one spanking. The kid just did not stop. Ever. Like, ever. My youngest one, I probably spanked him a handful of times. And it's just because with him, I can look at him and give him a look. Or I can say, I'm disappointed in you, Caleb. And, I mean, instantly, that kid would start crying. He'd start pouting. He'd, put his head down. And it's because they're two different human beings. And so I realized that. I realized I have to raise them differently to this day. My oldest, my youngest, who's getting bigger and bigger, and he's actually heavier.
This one's running out of battery.
Pause it.
No, we're still good, but it's just running out of battery.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So my oldest, has always gone after me constantly and either argued with me or just like always wanted to wrestle with me or something, but he challenges me physically and even like verbally. My youngest one has never really hardly challenged me very much at all. And so the difference is my youngest is a big kid, but to this day, I can speak to him, and I feel like it's one thing I've really excelled at as a father because, like I said, I felt like I had to spank my oldest one all the time, and I can't believe you did that.
I know. I'm sorry.
On video. No. But my oldest one, like I said, I had to spank him all the time, and my youngest one, I had never had to spank, and to this day.
Do you think it has anything to do with him seeing all those spankings and being like, I want nothing to do with that?
Maybe. No, I really honestly believe they're just two different personalities.
He's just a little calmer, the younger one.
He's a lot more calm. My oldest one is like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Whether if it's something he truly believes in, he'll talk to me and just boom, 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 just go at it. Or if he's like coming at me in a wrestling type mode, like he's gonna bump my chest, like let's do this. I mean, it's full on. I put that kid in a pretzel, and where my youngest one would be like, I give. My oldest one, he'll just hang in there. He's like, he truly believes, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to beat my dad up. That's just who he is. And he was like that from the age of 2 years old. Like, I saw it in this kid. I'm like, this kid should just be a professional wrestler because that's all he does is just come at me. But anyways, a little off topic, but still, the whole point is that both my sons are different. I do treat them a little bit differently than their mom, and I try to let them grow up and become a little bit more adult. They talk about boy stuff. They, sometimes they're crude, sometimes they say goofy stuff, and I just laugh it off or whatever because I just realize like they're 14 and they're 18, and I'm not sending them to a boarding school, and I'm not a boarding school parent. If there's parents that want to be like that, that's fine.
Boarding school still a thing?
Oh yeah, and the thing is that a lot of parents are super strict where the kids have to, look a certain way, even at home, like where they might be dressed up or whatever it might be, or they have to be very proper. And if you want to raise your kids like that, that's fine. But that's not how I raise my kids. I allow them to express their personalities, whether it's they want to be boisterous or they want to be artistic or whatever it is. That's who they are.
So you would never tell your kids how to dress?
Oh no, I mean I would definitely tell them. Like, for instance, yesterday we went and watched the new Batman.
Yeah.
And my youngest, he wanted to go comfortable. I said, that's fine, you can go comfortable. So all of a sudden, I come downstairs and he has his pajama pants on. I'm like, you're wearing pajama pants? I said, we might go out afterwards. He goes, where? I go, I don't know, we just might go out afterwards. I said, you're not wearing pajama pants. I said, so go put something else on. So he's upstairs like for 5 minutes. I finally go upstairs. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm trying to find something to wear that's comfortable. He goes, I'm going to wear these shorts. I said, then wear the shorts. Because he had his shorts on. He pulled his socks all the way up to his calves. He had his, and then he walks out the door with Crocs on. So he puts his socks on, slips his feet in the Crocs, has shorts and a sweatshirt on, and his hair is kind of like a mess. But he also wants to be a skater. So how do you have a kid who wants to be a skater be all nice and preppy? You just don't. He wants to be kind of grungy looking, but he also wants to be relaxed. And he's 14, doesn't have a girlfriend as of right now. I bet when he gets a girlfriend,
he'll chill out a little bit.
He'll chill out and he'll be like, oh, I want to look nice for her. I think he'll change. But it just depends on the girl. Maybe she's kind of grungy, or maybe she's real preppy. It just depends. So, like I said, I'm the kind of parent who kind of lets it flow. I try to move with them a little bit, like the yin and the yang and the, and stuff. I truly believe in allowing a child to grow up. And then what we do is we kind of like when you're going bowling with the little kids, they put the bumpers up, and so the bowling ball stays on track. The ball can go all over, but it stays out of the gutter because of the bumpers. And I feel like I'm the bumpers. I can let them go a little bit off course here and a little off course there, but I'm the bumpers that keeps them going straight. At least they're going to keep going down that road. And keeping them out of the ditches, keeping them out of the gutters of life. And that's, I think, important.
You know what my issue is? Not my issue, but what I'm struggling with is that I'm the gutters, or I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my kids out of the gutters, but there's no bumpers.
Gotcha.
That's my thing.
So it's
mine's
like
more extreme.
bumpers every once in a while. Like you feel like you're the bumper, then there's no bumper. Then there's bumpers, and then there's no bumper. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's just that's probably, people ask me, do you have any baby mama drama or anything like that? And I don't. Like, we stay out of each other's lives as far as like who we're seeing or whatever.
Right.
I've never caused any issues for her and her new husband. Never.
That's good.
Never. I've never done that. She's really never done that to me, I don't think. I've also only had one relationship for 1 year these past 5.5 years, so there's nothing to interfere with. But what was I saying?
No baby mama drama.
Right. Oh, so yeah, I have no baby mama drama, but I have that weighs on me, right? That stress of
Feeling like there's the gutter.
yeah. Like she literally makes me feel like I am teaching my kids something wrong.
Gotcha.
That's literally how I feel.
Yeah.
That gives me so much stress in my life, Brad, so much sadness because I constantly feel like I'm doing something wrong. I can't figure it out. And we can't even communicate. We can't even talk.
Right.
Like, she got mad at me the other day because I got upset at my son's soccer practice because there's this kid that keeps kicking the balls 50 yards down the field over his head when he's trying to get the ball back. Like, the kid's the goalie, and my son, like, they're just shooting around. He shoots the ball, my son, and the goalie grabs it, and instead of throwing it back to him or passing it to him or rolling to him, he grabs it and blasts it way over his head, so he's got to go get it. He does that to my daughter, too. He's done that to other kids. The other day, he kicked the ball really hard, and he hit the coach. Like, this far away from each other.
Oh, shoot.
And his dad, like, sat him down on the side.
Okay.
Because,
so his
like,
dad
that's
did do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually he might look at him or he'll say something to him, but, like, something's not working there because the kid keeps doing it.
Ah.
And I got really mad because, like, I don't want to see my son. That's bullying to me.
Right.
Right? And my son's like, you want me to fight him? I was like, no, you don't have to fight him, but you can tell him, like, yo, you need to stop.
Right.
And that was a whole thing, and that something else happened I'm not really going to get into with that, but, like, she gets upset with me for getting upset, and it's like...
And did you get upset at your son for not saying something to your kid, or did
No.
you get upset at your kid?
I got upset with the other kid.
Okay, and then his dad, that's when his dad intervened?
No, his dad didn't intervene at that time.
Oh.
His dad usually doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he doesn't see it, or maybe he doesn't care. I don't know what it is, Brad. But
And did that kid respond to you at all? Like when
no,
you said, "Hey, knock it off."
No,
like,
I didn't say that to him.
Oh, you didn't say anything to him.
I didn't say that to him. He's done that before, and I'll give him a look like, "Come on, man," and he just stares back at me. But a couple minutes later, he'll do it to somebody else or to my son or whatever.
Do it on purpose?
Yeah, he does it. He's just rude, And the worst part is that he has a little brother that's on the same track.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah, but on the bright side, Brad, my daughter played with the boys on Saturday.
Saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
She just went the 7 and 8 year olds.
Yeah, she held her own, man.
That's awesome.
She held her own. I'm very proud of my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of my son too, for many different reasons. It's just the hard part for me with them is getting them to get along. That's something that I know their mother doesn't see that I work on, but I work on that with them every single time they're with me.
Yeah.
I try to teach my son, that is our baby. That is our baby. I'm sorry, but that is our baby, because I know that brings responsibility to your life. And I know it might make you feel like you're not as important, but just know that you are. But that is our baby, Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take care of our baby. When I'm not there, now or later in the future, you have to take care of our baby. Especially because we do not live together every day.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not there, I need you to take care of our baby.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't see it that way yet.
Yeah, he sees her as just as, and it, probably part of it is because they're so close in age. So he doesn't see her as a baby.
And so
he's like, she's my sister who annoys me, and I'm going to annoy her.
Yeah.
Well, if this gives you any hope, my two sons, who are, like I said, almost 18 and 14, in the last 6 months to a year, have just started getting along.
And do they get along really well?
They actually do. My oldest one still torments my youngest one at times, but they will joke around with each other. They'll talk about video games together. They'll talk about movies together. They'll talk about other students at school. At school together. No, well, yeah, just like, yeah, can you believe he did this or she did that? But what's funny is like, I'll tell them at times, I'm like, do you guys realize like 6 months to a year ago, you two would not even speak to each other, except for if Ethan was bothering you, Caleb.
Really?
And I'm like, now you guys are laughing together. You guys are doing funny things together. You know, and it's fun. Like, I mean, like we're all playing tennis. We went out this past weekend again. We all played tennis together. And it was cool. The two of them were on a team against me. And then I took turns being on a team with each of them. You know, and we played 2-on-1, you know, and it was just fun. And so if it gives you any hope, they will get along. And I think some brothers and sisters get along sooner. And some brothers get along, you know, later than others. It just depends. And I feel like you can keep striving to tell them like, hey, we take care of your daughter or of your sister, but you also have to tell your sister, hey, make sure you're watching out for your brother and make sure you're loving on him and make sure you're there for him. And the thing is because I feel like he needs to know it goes both ways. So maybe he feels like
I tell him that,
okay,
Brad.
yeah.
Promise.
Well, then,
because I don't want him to feel singled out. I tell him, yo,
yeah,
I promise you this is going to be your most important
right.
asset in your life when you're a little older, especially with the ladies. I promise you.
Well, then hang on for like 10 more years and it'll be better.
I hope so, Brad. You know, Johnny and I don't have a great relationship because we're 10 years apart.
Yeah.
We grew up very differently. We both have different relationships with both of our parents.
Right.
So I don't want my kids' relationship to be the same as ours because we're very distant, Johnny and I.
But you guys will grow. You guys will grow.
I'm hoping he grows into, like I said last time, into a uncle role and into a more of a brother role too.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a teenager, you know, but that's just my fear with my kids that they don't ever grow to love each other more and more the way I would like them to.
Right.
Just because I know that at the end of the day that they're all they got.
Exactly. And as parents we see that.
Yeah.
But when you're brothers and your sisters, you just don't see it. I mean, you literally look at them and you think, that is my mortal enemy over there. They're trying to, you know, they're your brother or sister.
Is that normal? Like enemies, Brad? Enemies?
Yes.
Enemies.
Yes.
It's normal.
My brothers and I, we fought. Like
Fist fought.
Fought. Yeah.
Who won most of the time? Don't lie.
It was always me.
Hey, brothers, comment
down below. Who got your butt kicked every single time when we were kids? Except for that one time when Brian swept my leg on a kick. He never lets me live that down. But yeah, and I think it's just one of those things where there's just life. It's just life. You know, you're clashing. At some point, you finally realize we don't have to clash. We don't have to, like, my brother is not my enemy. My sister is not my enemy. But it's kind of like iron sharpens iron. And that's kind of what our brothers and sisters do for us. They help us grow as individuals. They just do. They make you tougher. There's a reason why when you get to be older and someone puts you down, you're like, okay, buddy, whatever. Because your brother already said that to you 5 years earlier. And you're like,
for sure.
You know? So, I mean, there's that aspect of it, but
Yeah.
give it some time, man.
Do you roast your kids?
What's that?
Do you roast your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
They roast me, though. Now they're at the age where they're roasting me.
Oh, have they called you big guy yet? My daughter started calling me big guy. I almost passed out. No, Brad. She came up to me and
big guy.
She stood next to me and she put her hand on my tummy. She was like, "Hey, big guy." I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "I'm joining the gym right now." Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it's good to roast the kids, man. Let them get used to it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen in school and life, you know. And I want them to be able to be a part of it,
Yes.
not just victims of it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And be there for those who are victims.
Oh.
Like, don't jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, and
No, I mean roasting in a good way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Not in a bullying way, making fun of them.
Right.
You know, my son is very good about standing up for people. Like he'll tell me all the time, like, you know, I saw this person get bullied, and he tells me he tries to say something to stop it, but
Right.
you know, yeah. Anyways,
So what the most important thing you've ever learned in your life was to let things just go.
To move on from things.
move on,
You know, that's why I think that it's been so smooth with the mother of my children and I, because I wasn't one to linger and
Right.
who are you seeing now? Who are you doing this? You know,
Yeah.
like
Just moved on,
It
yeah.
was for both of us. I think our relationship was over before it ended.
Right.
You know, for different reasons, obviously.
And I think that happens probably most of the time.
But you know, and I'm sure she's moved on too from me, the
Right.
mother of my kids.
I hope she's married now, right?
Yeah, she has. But sometimes I'm just like, why does she still hate me?
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like there's still that hate. There's no like, hey, thanks for always being there for your kids, and thanks for always buying them your own stuff so that I don't have to support my kids by myself.
Right.
Like most
Mothers have to.
mothers have to.
Right.
I've told her before, like, yo, do you not have any single mother friends? Now she does. Well, one of her cousins now, and she's seeing it like, yo, the husband doesn't even want to take the kid to the soccer practices and the soccer games
Oh,
because
wow.
they used to play on the same team as my son. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know how lucky you are that I do everything I do? Do you know? I don't think she understands it, man, and it breaks my heart because I try my best to be nice to her and to, you know, always, you know, she always asks me, can we trade? Can we do this? Can I have this extra?
Right.
Can we do this instead?
And you're
Blah, blah,
willing to
always,
do that. Yeah.
always, I always say yes. There's been very few times where I say no, and when I've said no, it's for a good reason, but it's very few, you know? And I don't know, man, I just wish sometimes that part of our co-parenting would be a little different because, you know, the past is the past. I might have been a horrible boyfriend and husband, but not even close to that as a father, and I wish you would understand that.
Right.
You know?
Right. No, I get that. That was a good question that we had earlier today. Kind of provoked a lot out of us, didn't it?
Yeah. Guys, if you guys have any video submissions, just send them in. You can email them to deardadpod@gmail.com. It should pop up right here. Just make sure, like Brad said, 30 seconds to minute 30 long. Try to keep it to one question. And, you know, if you absolutely don't want to do that, feel free to write them down in the comments. But we prefer the video.
Yeah.
That way we can show some fan interaction. Also, be sure to like the video, guys, please. That's what helps us really spread out the channel, get more views, and be able to do more things with the content. Brad, do you want to do the dad joke of the week?
Sure. I'll do a dad joke of the week.
This is an honest reaction. I have not seen or heard this joke. Johnny's the one writing these jokes every single week. So if they're good, great. If they're bad,
Let us know. Like, tell
us
us, like,
know.
Johnny should be a professional writer, or tell us Johnny should
be fired.
Stop. Just absolutely stop. So let us know.
yeah.
We got to know. All right, here it is. Everyone's talking about Putin this, Russians, and Ukraine that. I'll tell you something, Vlad. You're putting me under a lot of stress by rushing to conflict. Vladimir Putin, Ukraine's-y. It was the delivery. I mean, if I would have had a better delivery, it would have been hilarious.
No, you know what would have been better?
It was a delivery.
You know what would have been better?
What's that?
A better joke. So can you see how you laughed? That's a joke. You see how I didn't laugh? That wasn't a joke. So go ahead, Brad. Take it away, man. Let's get out
All
of
right.
here.
Hey, guys, like us, subscribe us, and share us. And leave a comment every single time. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Till next time.
Okay. That was a delivery. That was like a joke. Everyone's
horrible joke.
everyone's talking about Putin this, Russians in Ukraine that. Well, I'll tell you something, Vlad. You're putting me under a lot of stress by rushing to conflict. Vladimir Putin, you're crazy.
It's horrible.
It's a great. There's so many puns.
There's too many puns. A pun should be.
Nah.
Johnny, dad jokes should be little one-liners.